Hey, what's up, everybody? It's KyFy. I'm glad you could be here. Again, if you are a returning subscriber, if you are new here, I'm glad you could be here. And welcome to the Zin-Finity Board. Welcome to a KyFy theory. And here we go with it. Basically, I got a good reading for you. And if you know, you know, the devil lost yet again. Every time I come here, every time I plan to get here, there's always something that's in my way. And I'm getting better at maneuvering around the obstacles. So if that resonates for you, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. So how does this work? So in a nutshell, basically the Zin-Finity Board is the totality of what your mind consists of in a reading. So you have 10 perspectives as well as technically 5 areas of the mind, or domains of the mind, which is one is physical. Then you have the world of formation, which is the world of the mind, right? That's the mental. Then you have the world of creation, which is the spiritual. And then you have this big triangle here, which is the world of emanation, which is astral. Astral. Okay. So, and in the middle right here, you have the ethereal realm, where everything is actually in existence. So, using this knowledge and the knowledge of the Philosopher's Stone, as well as the Tree of Life, I created this concept, and this is what I'm reading off of today. So without further ado, let's get started. So the order of the reading goes as follows. We go from the crown. Well, we start from 0, and then we go to the root, and then go back to 0. And when we get back to 0, we will basically clarify for all of the energies that we see. And what does that mean? Every card here, except for the domains, has an elemental tag to it. So when the elemental tag is off, I know as a reader that there's something to talk about. There's a focus there. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So give me a second to get the cards down, and it's gonna happen right about now. I don't know if I'm ever gonna get that right, but you know, it's worth a shot. So what just happened? Basically, you see these black cards here. These represent 10 perspectives in your mind. And what does that mean? You know how they say people have multiple personality, but a disorder. What I'm saying is you have 10 perspectives in your mind naturally that are fighting each other for the number one spot. But in working with harmony, in unity with each other, you find balance. So this is why our minds are so jumbled, because we have so much that we need to get in order and we need to fix. But unless you know yourself, this is harder to do. So this is the beauty of this board. You don't have to do so much work. You can see it flat out, two-dimensionally. So let's get started with the first perspective, right? First perspective, I'm going to do a rundown of it from 0 to 9 back to 0 to 9. You'll see. So first perspective is Soph. So on the Tree of Life, you have Ein, Soph, and Or. Soph is Sophia, and that represents the domains that we actually occupy in our minds. The domains that are actually occupied in our minds. So this process right here, this part embodies the who, what, when, where, and why of the situation. So what does that mean? We have the physical world, the mental world, the spiritual world, and the astral world. The astral is where the soul emanates. So where you imagine, that energy that gives you the power to imagine, is where this is. So it's a secret, right? It's always known as that place where, you know, or it's the crown chakra where it's housed, but you understand what it means, what I mean when I say that. There's a lot that goes into this board, but let's keep going. So after you get the who, what, when, where, and why, we start with your aspiration. And it has to do with I know. What do you know about yourself? What have you learned that you're good at? Where do you think your life is taking you? What is your aspiration? What is your goals? What are the things that you stand for? What do you want to see in this life before you leave, right? This is what this spot has to do with. Your why, your I know, right? So next is I be, your being. What are you going to be at the end of the day? Well, let me go back. I know is represented by the King of Swords. So this is on suit because this is fire, air, and that means this can be one of those two, and we got it, and it's fine. So that's how it works. I'm just going to keep going. When we get to the Ketha, right? Your being, I be. This has to do with what you are at the beginning and the end of every day. So after you finish crying, the person that you are, before you even start, when you win something, the person that you become, and you say, okay, I made it. That person that you're glorifying at that point. This is your being, the person that you nurture. You've been nurturing since you were young. The person that you try to protect. That's your being, right? And it's represented by the Queen of Wands. We're going to get to it, but this is on suit. So this is the right energy to have in this location. Moving on from there. So that was Da'at. This is the beginning of ether right here. Then you went to the crown chakra. So 0, 1, right? Then you go 2, 3, which is the third eye. And that is Bina and Hokmah, right? And at Hokmah, we have the 8 of Pentacles, and this is on suit because this side could be fire or earth, right? Fire or earth. If it's on this side, it's good to have this kind of energy on this side, because if it's on the opposite side, it represents a blockage of some kind. So far, so good. So the energy from your crown is not being manipulated so far. So moving on, we get to the star, and this is the air card in the place of Bina. So this is your place of I want, and Bina is I need. So this is your path, because whatever you want, you'll go towards, right? Whatever you want in this life, you'll go towards for it, or you do anything to get it. You'll do the steps to get it, not anything. If you think of doing anything to get something, that's not the right thing, because the devil wants you in a place where you're willing to go further than your soul wants you to go, further than your spirit is ready to go. So be careful. So the 8 of Pentacles is I want. I need is a little bit different. It has to do with the energy to get to where you want to go. So the manifestational or the creation energy. So your spiritual connection and your mental connection, right? And this is represented by the star, and the star is an air card. So air and water is on this side, so this is good. So far, so good. Third eye is good. You're able to see the deception. So that's not the problem so far. Now, it's going to start getting a little different, right? So next up is I will. Now, I will is also on suit. So what you actually can manifest, you can use it. What is manifested, you can use. And it seems like you have a good amount of protection going on here. So when it comes to your manifestations, you understand that they're delicate. Even though it seems like people can't get past it, they're delicate to you because you take so much care of it. You know, the delicate flower, you got to take care of it, but it's actually strong against the weather and the things that are around it, the things that could actually destroy it, the bugs in the ground, the sediment in the ground, anything that can be there. You have bad water, you don't have enough water, anything. It's resilient, and that's where your manifestations lie. The resilience behind it, you can count on it. So that's an attractive quality. So people are looking for you to be counted on, or count on you to do a certain amount of things. Yes, you can do it, but it brings you a certain amount of pressure. So this is the energy to get where you want to go, and it's guarded by the star. They know you the star, but if you use your star power and everything else, you have nothing else left to use yourself. And oh man, Derek Branch, he said, the way he said it was like this: you have 100%, and when you give somebody anything, that's not the right thing to do. While your energy is overflowing, that's what you give. So you give the overflow. So you always keep what you need for yourself and give the extra, the little bit to people or the energies that need it. You know, you don't overuse your energy so you don't have anything left at the end of the day, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to be sitting in your power, but if there's nothing to use, how could you? Next up is I Desire, which is the King of Wands. So this is the first card that is off suit. And what does that mean? That this right here is fire in the place of earth, air or water. This is the place to water the seed of what you manifested, that idea where you can actually nurture it and get to the point of manifestation. So yes, you can have protection on your manifestations. They're rare. They're not as frequent as you would want it. It doesn't seem like it's a lot to go off of, right? It doesn't seem like it's a lot to go off of. But the reason why is because of this King of Wands. We're going to get to it. What you desire has to do with your fantasy. And your ego has a role to play in that. So we're going to get to that. Fantasies are created from what your mind interprets. Dreams are created from what your spirit knows about your soul, right? About who you are, what you came to do. So there's a difference. Moving on from there, at Tiferet, which is the air chakra, we have the Eight of Wands, which is off suit. So there's the Eight of Pentacles right here, the Eight of Wands right here. Just have to make sure there's no more eights. Well, protection is an 8 right here. So let's see. And I just mentioned why the protection is a little faulted. You can't protect nothing. You can't protect anything if it's nothing there. You know what I mean? Yeah, so 8 of Wands in the place of air. Understand this. Air and fire support each other. So this can help. But too much action in the place where you need to reorganize what you're doing is not giving you the space to create that new life. So I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of, I want to say, pickiness going on with what you think you need to do. You picking at what you believe your goal is. Instead of taking the big steps that you know you can, you say, no, I'm going to take a little step because I don't believe in the big step. So who's moving slower at whose will? I don't believe in the big step. This is why, because this is your ego in the place where your dream should be occupied. So it should be water or air, and it's not. So let's move on. So that's in the place of I love. You love to pick at. Oh, okay. See, this is a card of perfection. And let me tell you something about perfection. Perfection is dead. And the best example I can give is of a TV show that I watched before. So this is a spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, just skip, right? The Good Place. Everybody was in heaven for so long, and they got so frustrated that they created everything. And then eventually they gave it up to the evil spirits. Listen, this is the show. They gave it up to the evil spirits to say, I know what to do, and I know how to keep you entertained or to find something else to do. So they were bored in a place of perfection. How could you be bored in heaven, right? So I always had that question when I was younger. Heaven is this all wonderful place, right, for eternity, and I get bored easily. So I was like, God, I love you to death, right? But I don't know how long I can love you before I get bored of it. And that I was petrified when I was younger, because I said, how do I explain that to anybody around me? That's forever. You're talking about doing this forever in heaven. Great, you're in heaven. Forever? Like, I would get bored. What would I do? So that's an interesting analogy to get you to understand the reason why we keep coming back down here. And the reason why you keep going through these things. You came down here for lessons to learn who you were and what you could be and what you could become. That's the reason. Heaven is perfection. We came down here to imperfection to learn what perfection could do. You are perfect who you are. You are that thumbprint, that godly fingerprint, that galactic fingerprint that is doing perfection right now. what you are doing is perfect because you are not perfect, right? Perfection is dead. I used to be a perfectionist, and I still am. So I could say I'm a recovering perfectionist. Oh man. But perfection is dead. So love the imperfections that you see. Love the imperfections in the people that you know. In this way, you can find perspective and empathy. That was a big card. But the world is an earth card in a place where it should be fire, right? And this is the place of I do or I act. The things that you are doing in repetition, the habits that you have, the habits that you keep up, the habits that you can't keep up, right? It goes both ways, but these are the things that you are doing in repetition, the cycles. And it seems like the world is a good card. But when the world is on your actions, not your mind, like when you are doing things for the pleasure of the world, yeah, you're not fueling yourself. And I just talked about that before. So the world is off. The world is an earth card in the place of fire. Yeah, we're gonna get to it. Right. Next up is the Seven of Cups in the place of I feel, naturally, right? The emotions. Now the Seven of Cups is on suit. So your emotions, and the reason why people can gild to you to get it done because you have the right energy for it. But your ego is in the way because it's like goodie points, cookies. People you giving you cookies when you should be feeding yourself and nourishing yourself. You have your own cookies. You don't have no cookies left. You done made a whole batch of cookies, smelled it, cooked it, perfected it, mastered it, and the next thing you know, it was none for yourself. And you sitting over here like, yeah, I did a good job. This is why you feel like you're failing when you're winning at the same time. It's weird. So next up is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is the Earth card in the place of Earth, which is the root area of I am, right? So when you think of I am, right? This is the place of fear. You're not afraid because you get things done. You are a powerhouse in this world. And people know that. So they come to you to get their things done. But it doesn't seem like, not even like they're taking advantage of you. You're willing to do it like it's the thing that you're supposed to be doing. Misguided for some reason. Maybe it's the attention of it. Because people, maybe you need to be seen. So what gives you that feeling of not being able to be seen? I don't know why that came up. But yeah, we're at the end of it. We're at the end of the first run, so you can understand the energies that are off right now. The energies that are off, going from top to bottom, it starts off at your desire, then to what you love, then to what you're doing. And those are the only three things that are off in the perspectives in your mind. So these are the things that you're warring with right now, currently. So let's move on to who, what, when, where, and why these things could be happening right now. So first up, we did Ein, which is in the tree of life. Ein, right? Soph is what we're doing right now. So starting off with the world of emanation, which is magic. So let's get it. So you are a magical being. Time to stop hiding the awe-inspiring abilities you have to connect to the divine. Drawing the Pinnacle invites you to connect with your personal magic on a deeper level at this time. Working with the phases of the moon in ritual and with herbs, candles, and crystals and spell work are some ways we can connect to our magic on the physical plane to the ethereal realms. Alright, so you have a thing that fits you best and it's coming in the form of a gift. And if you've been receiving something that you can't quite describe recently, that's a gift that you have to unravel, and learn what it is. Because not every time, the devil can't know what it is. Because if the devil knew what it was as soon as you got it, you wouldn't have enough time to learn what it does before he got time to mess it up. So it's a race to figure out what it is before he get a chance to mess it up. You see? So knowledge is power, and the more you speak about it, the more the devil can know about it. So the more you keep quiet about the things that you learn about yourself, the gifts that you learn, the more you can protect it. And if you keep it quiet, people won't come after you for it, and they won't give you cookies thinking that you're doing something good, wasting your star power on other people. So you see how this board is starting to speak to me, right? So moving on from there, we have magic in the world of creation, right? So you are being drawn to sacred spaces, ancient knowledge, past lives, ancient wisdom, and holy gifts. The connection to your current relationship or situation has deep roots and is perhaps much more than you have anticipated. Dive into ancient wisdom for your answers at this time. So there's more to that, but dive into ancient wisdom. And I was thinking about epigenetics right now. It's inside of you. Apparently, we're connected to the first that was born ever. Every one of us, right? So what's in us is in us eternally, and we all have that seed in it. So we have that access to the first knowledge, which means that anybody in your bloodline that's connected to your epigenetics, somehow, some way, spiritually, mentally, astrally, and all that, we can connect to that information through dreams, hints, little nuggets here and there, little gifts. We'll get a hint on what our family, our bloodline, our epigenetic history was capable of, and we can actually bring that here now. So what does it look like for you? What are the things in your past, the family, what have your family done that you can benefit off of? What is the skills in your family, your bloodline that's in you, so it'll come out you when it's time, right? Yeah. And this is in your spirit. So we have boundaries in the world of the mind. Let's get it. Stand your ground, be your own guardian, and take up space. This is not the time to play small. Honor your space and create healthy boundaries in your situation. Meditate on this symbol when you want to set healthy boundary and stick to it. The jaguar, right? I like jaguar now for some reason because Yah. But the jaguar can also help you keep your integrity and standard high. Now, integrity and standards, mental integrity and standards. The shell of your mind, the ending of your mind. Imagine your mind is a circle, right? A sphere, right? And it starts from the center to the end. Everything that you know goes from the center to the end. And if you're able to keep this knowledge up without any kind of interference, you're able to keep this space alive. And in this space, the energy that goes there is the energy of your heart. The energy that gets it all done. What it's all for. The love you came here to experience. So if that makes sense, your boundaries hold that space safe for you. So learn to say no to your best of your ability peacefully and get it done in a way where you can protect your space. If they cannot accept your no, they didn't want to accept your boundaries. The boundaries was a no-no for them. They wanted to walk all over you. So when the wall comes up, if they're a true friend, they're going to stop there and ask for access. Hey, I don't know why this is here, but can I get through? That's a real one. A real one going to present himself accordingly. Yeah. So next up is protection in the world of manifestation. And this is the number one card, the first card. So you are protected. You are safe in all matters of the body, mind, spirit, and spirit. Your highest guidance has you covered on all fronts. Do not delay in moving forward. If inquiring about a relationship, situation, or how to proceed, please take this as a sign that you are taken care of and harm to none will be had. Meditate on this symbol when you feel like you need to strengthen your energy. Now, I always mention harm to none will be had because this is not about revenge. This is all about growth. The experience you came down here for. So revenge is rejecting the love you came down here to experience. Rejecting what you were trying to learn. Rejecting the power that comes after learning the lessons. Rejecting your power. Rejecting your birthright. Because you want to get revenge. It's not about revenge. It's about growth. Now, this is my example. And what is it called? Crowness? Whatever. Coined this phrase, this analogy. All triggers, anything that affects you can be turned into two things, data and energy. The energy that triggers you into doing something, and the data, when it happened, why it happened, how it happened, who it happened to affect you, what it happened to, when it happened. All of these things is the data, and the energy is the emotion that you felt at the time. So whenever somebody makes you relive and bring up this data, that energy will come out of you if you didn't learn how to control it. So when somebody has that access to what you've been through, or you are, oh, it's about to get deep, because the thing is that pillow talk, getting to know somebody, they're learning what keeps your mind at peace. They're learning what keeps your love at bay, and they can learn how to control these areas for themselves, because this is an area of love, and you know love is the strongest, right? Love is the strongest energy. But there's something above all of it, which is care, and that's what we're going to get into now. So in the Zin-Finity Board, there's something, it's called the conscious spread. I almost forgot. It took me a while. Right? So consciously, what can we do with this information that we know right now? Right? We understand that there are 3 things that are off, and now that means that there are three blockages from getting my energy from my crown to my root. Once I get this energy to the root, then we can understand. Hold on, let me say this in order so you can understand it. We understand who, what, when, where, why. We understand what you know, what you want, what you need, what you will, what you desire, what you love, what you act or do, the rhythms that you have, how you feel, and who you are, and your being at the end of the day, your tag. So now that we know or have an example of what that is, we're gonna clarify this energy before we get the actual explanation of what's going on. So next up is care, the conscious care. How can we do, what can we do right now to fix the energy? So in a moment, I'll get it for you. So right about now. So there wasn't much to clarify, but that's a good sign, because it's not much more for you to focus on before you got a hang of things. But what is it to get the hang of, right? So I'm gonna go on the clarifying run from 0 to 10 again, and then when we get from 0 to 10, as I described before, we did who, what, when, where, why, etc. Then we go to ifs. So if I experiment, if I express, if I integrate, and if I transcend, therefore I will achieve whatever I came here for, which is the King of the Swords right here. So we're going to get that. We're going to get those 5 oracle cards at the end of it, but let's get started with it. So let's get the King of Swords. The King of Swords is in a space of I know. So what do you know? Head of a heart, discipline, and truth. You know that a head of a heart decision will get you towards what you came here for. When I'm talking about a union between two, which is a union in self, between your spirit and your consciousness, right? There's a castle in the flag. When it comes to relationships, there's the man and the woman, right? The castle is the woman, the man is the kingdom, right? The flag is what they have in common, what they all stand for. So there's a unity in the sense, and there's a perfection in it. So the truth in the matter will get you to where you need to be, regardless if it's a solo journey or a journey with somebody else. So take it how it resonates. See, but the discipline in the matter is the crazy part, because sometimes people need a rest. It's either a rest or a rest in ignorance. Some people just need a break from it, need a break from learning so fast. I don't know why that's coming out so quick like that. That's crazy. But learning too fast is not as easy as you might think it seems. Nobody learns or is willing to learn as fast as you are. That's the willingness of it. You're willing to get over some of this baggage that you have. You're willing to learn from the mistakes that you made. You're willing. But understand, these are all aspects of you, and these are all personas that are there, that's all fighting for the role, right? And the willingness that you have within your own body, mind, soul, and spirit to get these things done is at odds with each other. So the truth will guide you to the right direction. That's what that means. Going forward, we have what your being is, which is the Queen of Wands. So at the end of the day, you're going to be a person that has courage, determination, and joy. Now, courage, determination, and joy in your childhood, the child that's in you, the thing that you protect, the thing that you came here to experience with. Basically, that pureness in you, you have to protect. And you are courageous in that effort. You know what I mean? You, it seems like you enjoy people trying to stomp over you because it's only a trial. You know what? When I get this right, watch the next time. You enjoy the next time, the experience of what's going to happen when you can stand on your feet with it. You enjoy that thought. You enjoy the future of it. It's crazy. And this is why a lot of things are aligned in the first place, because of who you are at the beginning and the end of the day. You're going to be sitting in your throne, your power. A little bit, I would say a little bit cocky, but that's not bad. It's not a bad thing all the time. Because sometimes the cockiness, if it's, divine, let me just say that, you're openly letting everything know that you are willing to stand on the truth of who you know yourself to be. And it's immovable, it's unshakable, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. So it's a different type of stubbornness. It's a stubbornness in truth. And that's why they're so angry. That's why they're so angry. Alright. Moving on from there, you have the third eye, right? Which is represented by Hokmah on the Eight of Pentacles on Hokmah and the star on Bina, right? So at the Eight of Pentacles, let's see. Diligence, passion, and high standards. So you had determination over here and diligence over here. It's a lot of focus. And this is why it's not much left to focus on, because you've been doing the work. You've been taking heed. You've been listening to the signs. And this is that congratulations. This is that confirmation that it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't in vain. It was for the lesson, for the blessing that you need. Okay, that's cheesy, but it makes sense. And that's why it came out. And it was supposed to mean, it was a message for you. This is in your path. So it's an abundance aligned for you as you just keep focusing. You're starting to notice it, and you're starting to notice that when you focus on what you came here for, the things that you need will come towards you because the attraction is there. You're doing the work, so God only has to bring things towards you. Now, it brings up to the reason why this is the title in the first place. I'm not even sure what the title is going to be. I only have an idea. So, how powerful are your prayers? Now, prayers without works is dead. And this is where you shine. You shine in the area of the work. So, you don't need to pray as much. And this is what kind of frustrates them. You don't have that openness about what you do spiritually to keep yourself intact. You don't need it because it's focused here. Your boundaries come to play. You've protected what you've grown, what you've gotten back to. What you've lost before, you've gained, and why would you give it up again? And this is what they don't understand. You've already regretted. You've gotten to that point, so they're trying to push you to that point again of regret. How can you be? It's like double jeopardy. You can't be tried twice for the same thing. You already learned those lessons. You already did the time. You know what I mean? Or you've been through the judgment of it all. Alright, so the star. This is in the place of the energy required to manifest where you're going, right? So, hope, faith, and rejuvenation. After all of the attacks, hope and faith is the energy that's gonna sprout like a seed going through harsh ground. It don't matter what they put over you, what they try to bury you with. That hope and faith is enough clearly to rejuvenate that life, that seed, that sprout, that tree, the tree who you were. It's about the rebirth effect of it, because you were buried again, and everything that you built before was like overshadowed by a whole new set of problems. It's like, oh, I just got over everything. How is this not done yet? This is a whole new set of things I've never seen. Probably because God didn't want you to see it yet. Imagine if you had so much more work to do back then when you didn't even know that where you are now, there was more. Sometimes not knowing is a gift and a blessing. So be careful what you pray for, because you're asking an all-powerful being, consciousness, entity, presence, whatever you want to describe it at that point, that's going to make moves in your life to get you to the prayer that you asked for, to answer that prayer, right? Be careful what you pray for, because God is powerful and it will be done. I don't even need to go into much detail, because the things that you pray for, you understand that when they actually happen, you were upset at it. You were upset at the prayer that you prayed for. How can you be upset? Recognize it and acknowledge that it was done, and look where you are now, and look at the beauty and the advantages and the opportunities that you have now. It's coming full circle. I can't even get past the third eye, but you already know this. Next up is the wheel, the 10 of Pentacles. Legacy, inheritance, and culmination. This is the gathering of willpower. So the fact that you couldn't gather before was coming up to play, because you were giving away what your gift was to other people that helped them, right? So the fact that you're not doing that anymore, you're working on your boundaries. You're saying, okay, I can't do this for this person because I need to work on myself today. I already planned it. So this person would have got in my way, so I'm going to just have to move this over here because I need to. Because I am more important than the situation. This is in the way of my dream. If I did this, I would be losing. You're recognizing the faults. You're recognizing the deficits. And that's pissing people off. And you can understand that when people just no longer are around you, they can't eat off of you anymore. They can't suck that life energy off of you anymore. It's just not possible. That boundary is spiritual, and they will be unattracted to it. It'll be like a negative energy. They can't even be around it. Why? Because you've gained that boundary, right? Next up is where it needed to be clarified, which is in your desire. And it started with the King of Wands, and it ended off with the 6 of Swords. So your being right here, the Queen of Wands, is coming into play. But the King of Wands in your desire is where the cockiness got you hurt. Let me just put it that way. Big picture, leader, and overcoming challenges. Now, why is this in the wrong place of your desires? Now, this is in a place of your dreams, and it's not manifested yet. This is a place where it's manifested and needs to be worked into existence. So the fact that the big picture is here is good. The dream is here. But the leader in overcoming challenges is not going for you. It was going for other people. So therefore, you weren't overcoming your challenges. Everybody was using you to overcome theirs. And you were sitting in your cocky ass throne, loving it. Then it ended off with the 6 of Swords. Let's see. So a transition, leaving behind and moving on. Of course, there are holes in this boat that he's moving on in. Yeah, there's a lot of baggage, but the baggage was the things that was keeping you. Okay, sometimes a lesson that you're learning currently, or you've been learning in a passive manner, you've been learning it for about a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then somebody comes along way behind in your lesson and try to give you this lesson now. So it's like, okay, I already understood that. That's a level 1 lesson you're trying to give me right now. Okay, I mean, just throw that over there. And this person is understanding that they can just do that and just see where you are. I mentioned picky before, but this is why you are picky. Because the attacks are picky. The attacks are getting pettier. The attacks are getting harder to see because you're getting better at blocking and transmuting the attacks. That's why you're getting better, so therefore the attacks are getting trickier. They're never gonna stop. Understand that. This is life. They're always teaching you at the same time. You came here to learn. If you're not learning anymore, you're gonna hit a wall of you got nothing else to offer. Therefore, you have to learn along the way at the same time that you achieve. So there's always something for you to go towards. I hope that makes sense. So the next part that needed to be clarified was the place of the heart, which is, it was the 8 of Wands reversed, then it was the Hangman, and then it ended off with the 9 of Swords. So let's get it. So the 8 of Wands reversed, panic, waiting, and slowing down. Now, the panic part of it, when your mind isn't at ease, there's a lot less space for your spirit to operate with it to get things done. So when you're not being used at your optimum capacity, whatever that word is, I can't even figure it out right now. But optimal capacity, right? When you're yet not being used to that, it takes an effect of what you can do daily. There'll be like less energy for you to get through the regular daily activities and events. And next thing you know, you have to just sit there and recoup. So there's a certain kind of energy vampire around you right now. And it's causing you to do things differently to go back on the cycle that you were trying to get out of. So this is how you know you're at the end of the cycle or very close to it. Because that, like I said, the attacks are getting greater. It went from there to the Hangman. So sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. Now, the crazy thing about this is an ambition. This is fire right here. When you sacrifice that, you douse that out with some water by seeing the opposite perspective. Seeing it from a different perspective. If I let this go, it doesn't have power over me. So therefore, the power that I gain from not being taken advantage of, I can now stack and use for the space that I need to get things done now. So what do I mean by space? Let's just say your job requires you to go to a certain place and be here for a certain amount of time. So what happens if your dream says that I need you to go to this place and do this thing, that I need you to go to this place and do this thing? Your space is occupied by your contract. I have to go to work to live. And you don't believe that there's another path. So what happens when you think of the different perspective? When you start thinking in the opposite perspective, what would you see? Now that this thing has been taken away from you, what can you do? Oh snap. I have a lot more time to do blank, 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 and blank, right? Then it ended off with the 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords is anxiety, hopelessness, and trauma. So what is it about this trauma? Okay. Trauma has a sense of regret in it. When you regret something, that's the ultimate negative response to whatever it is that you did before. You absolutely will not go this direction anymore because you regret it. Now, regret is powerful, especially with God, because God says, oh, you won't go there. So anything I put in this place behind this area that you would never go anymore is essentially protected. So all of the things that I know that you can handle in this area that would actually power you is now protected. So all of this, all of the seduction and all of the anticipation that comes from the worldly things right here, that's what it was. All of the anticipation that comes from the worldly things would just go to the back of the mind, out like in one ear and out the other, because that has to do with something that you regret. Therefore, it has no power over you, and you can claim it. Anything that's on that side that triggers you now becomes your energy and data that you can just use to say, okay, this is a new boundary now. This, if I do this, that thing will never happen no more. So that's just a new building block for my tower that allows me to see farther away from the bullshit. See the bullshit coming from farther away. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, moving on, we have the solar plexus, right? And this is holding the sack. It has to do with your rhythms, but also what you do and how you act. So it started off with the world. The world card is an earth card, and earth in a place where things need to be ignited and lit. Earth is a stubborn energy where you are deciding not to do something because you believe it, or somebody has you doing something else because you're stuck doing that, or like you promised them or something like that. It comes off differently. How it resonates is how it resonates for you. So yeah, it started off with the world. Let's get it. Fulfillment, harmony, and contemplation. So that's the problem. If you got it already, if you think that you already achieved your ultimate goal, what is there to do? This is why you have been learning one thing specific that is a skill towards your ultimate goal. That is not the end result. So if you see that, what is it, a glass ceiling? If you see that glass ceiling, understand that that wasn't for you in the first place. You are to be in a different place to grow. A turtle grows only as big as its tank. And I think that goes for a lot of different creatures that goes in tanks in general. The bigger the space is that you can occupy, the bigger you can grow. Moving on to the Five of Pentacles in the same place, the same earth, same kind of stubbornness, but you're walking away from it. You're understanding that it doesn't benefit you much. So let's see. Need, poverty, and insecurity. The insecurity of it all. The insecurity of understanding that what you fought for was only a step. That's as sad as it is good, and I explain why. You saw the end of the line, the end of the road, dead end, and you really thought the GPS told you to go this way. The next thing you know, when you reached the dead end, you sat there, cried, and then a door opened. It lifted up like the Batman thing, that you went into this whole new place, new dimension, and it got everything that you ever imagined on the other side. But it only required a little bit of patience and being in the right place at the right time. So that's what's coming out right now. So it went from the page of the Pentacles in the same place, right? There's a lot of earth energy in the place where you need to be moving, so you can understand why you were stuck. There's a lot of stubbornness, but it comes in the sense of fantasies too, other people's fantasies. But now you have one thing that you're looking at that is the root of all of it. So you found the root cause of why you're stagnant. You found it. You're looking at it, and you're admiring it because of who you used to be. That's crazy, because in order to be reborn, you have to give up an old piece of yourself. And this is the last piece that you recognize that you're admiring, and it's the hardest to give up. It's harsh. More earth came up, but it ended off with the Four of Wands. But let's see what it says. The Six of Pentacles. All of the Pentacles came up here, so that's crazy. Charity, generosity, and sharing. This is the person who went through the problems already and is trying to tell somebody, or can give somebody some details on what they can go through, what they can do to not go through the same thing. So you're a guide. You're some type of guide. But giving is receiving. And when you give that knowledge, you receive something. So what does that sound like? Next thing you know, you talk to somebody that says, oh, I was about to make the biggest mistake, but you told me about it, and now I'm not going to make that big mistake. So the next time I got an opportunity to bless you, I would. So these links will pop up. God will say, okay, this person knows this person, so I'ma just make this person just get in contact, and all of a sudden they're gonna be talking about you, and then you're gonna get what you need. So it just lines up with like some kind of coincidence. You're like, oh, thank you. All I did was share what I went through. All I did was show you the true self, my true self, and it benefited me that way. I wonder what would happen next. I wonder how many times. What would I get next? You never even know. It becomes the journey. Like, okay, if I show my truth, I get rewarded, even though it's hard. The addiction that you can gain from showing your truth, yeah, rewarded every time. Okay, there's gonna be some truth. Yeah, there's gonna be some truth swinging out there. It ended up with the Four of Wands. So let's see. Community, home, and celebration. Now, community. Of course, you're gonna get a community if you are willing to show your truth and wear your heart on the sleeve, that kind of sense, right? Because people want to protect that. Okay, this person is a light, and I'm going to protect this light because when I need this light, I think this light will be here for me. Let me do everything in honor that I can do for this light. And it will show itself. You'll see the protection. You'll feel the protection. You'll be like, God, I don't even know do I even deserve this? Yes, because you don't even understand the effects of what you do. Sometimes this can happen for somebody to fall down the stairs. You never even know. You put a bag of seeds on the floor that you finished, or you spit your seeds out in one location and somebody said, okay, I'm gonna go around these seeds, and then they get hit by a bike. You never know. Some of these things you never know. And just walk with your light, and the universe will bless you. So I went from there to, so that finished off that run, and it was a little bit of work. It's a lot of stubbornness, but it was all because you wanted to figure it out before you move forward. Sometimes you need to know. Sometimes the information must be there because it's a hard decision. And, when you ask and you shall receive. And I bet you've been seeing a lot recently. So, Seven of Cups in the place of I feel. Searching for purpose, choices, and daydreaming. Now, daydreaming in the place of I feel. You literally bring yourself to a different place in your mind and experience these things. And the energy, your conscious mind can't tell a difference from where it is in the astral realm, because that's where the daydreaming happens. It happens in the astral realm. So you go there and your mind says, I'm here right now. I'm not where I am currently. I'm experiencing these things that I dream about. So you're literally attaching yourself to your dreams or the things, sometimes daydreams can be bad too. You daydream about something negative. But it all depends on where your mind is going. But I'm talking about the positive ones. Think about positive things and daydream positive things. Focus on it and you'll just go into that zone. I just find out that focus works like that. Yeah, but your daydreams are very powerful. You get to attach to that other side of you that you never knew. Why did you feel so good coming out that daydream? Or even almost annoyed that somebody bothered you and got you out of there? Because it was so peaceful there. Daydreaming is very powerful. But write these dreams down. Write what you find down. Write what you hear, see, taste, touch, smell down. Because it's about an experience that your body or your soul wants to experience. An opportunity that your soul wants to experience, right? So yeah. And it ended off with the Hierophant. So, tradition, conformity, morality, and ethics. So, time-tested, proven things that all of a sudden are not at your disposal for you to use. So, it's just like, if you knew how to type. You never cared about typing. You were into exercise. You were into fitness. All these other things. The next thing you know, an opportunity comes to you to manage and operate a whole gym. And you needed to know how to type everything up. But it was so easy to you because it was your skill. A mundane skill that you never knew that was so powerful now. What are the skills that you have? These little skills that you say, oh, I could do that without even thinking. How powerful is that in your dream, going towards your dream? It's so little, but you don't even understand what it can do. It's the little things that count, the little things that matter. Little things you gotta pay attention to, because that's little signs. That's the whispers from God saying, did you see that? Did you see what just happened? Did you see it? Did you see that power? No? Did you recognize it? People around you recognize it. And if they're good people, you'll see the reaction. They'll just like blow up. Like, what just happened? I feel so good now. And I'm going to tell you that. And you'll be like, why? Because God wants you to let you know what kind of power you have. So, that finished that run. You, right now, you have a good understanding of what happened and what's around you and what's going on. But here's the part of the reading where you can get an idea of what to do physically with it, what to experiment with, what to express in your life, what to integrate into your life, what to do differently, right? And how to transcend, how to level up, how to find that new space and claim that space as yours and nobody else can take it. This is a new life. And then when you do that, you level up, and then you achieve what you came here for. So let's get that for you real quick. Affluence. Karmic path. I've been getting some of the same cards recently. There's a message. There's a focus. Going through the same problems over and over, thinking that's the same lesson, but it's not. There's levels to it. Healer. Too many. Too many people trying to take your space. Too many people trying to be all up around you to benefit when you about to blow up. Message. You living in the boondocks? You're not going to be living in the boondocks no more. And friendship to end off the reading. So let's get this done quick before my heater start bugging. You know, thank God for the heat, but that heat is loud. So apologies. First up is affluence in the world of experimentation. I hope you can hear me properly. I'm going to speak a little bit louder. So affluence, let's get this done. Wealth in all forms is available to you now. You are rich on all accounts. Drawing this card invites you to feel the abundant flow of having all that you need in the material and spiritual planes. I was just talking about this. Once you stop giving your energy out, you keep your energy, and that's all in manifestation, blessings, and all that good karma coming back to you to get what you need, right? So experiment in keeping what you have and building on what you have already currently. So karmic path in the place of expression, right? Karmic lesson, learning experience, hard work, perseverance, and structure. A new valuable lesson is available to you at this time. This moment requires your due diligence. Pay attention to what is being presented to you at this time. Have you been down this road before? Our souls has come to this earth school to learn valuable lessons as beings for the planet. What are you being taught right now? This moment may require hard work. Alright. When people prayed back in the day before you were born, you saw that. I believe that. You were somewhere and you said, okay, I have a gift And I believe that my gift can work right here in this timeline to help this person out and anybody who's going along in this timeline about out with this problem ever again. And you know, you understand, God, it can happen before this time, and you could be born around that time. So you are born at a time where somebody needs help. As simple as that. You are called to help somebody. How would you do it? And your karmic path, the things that you learn along the way, the things that you thought were unfair, were you in another realm teaching the you currently control now how to handle the gift that will bless the people. So I hope that makes sense. The karmic path leads you to the things too. So your karma is also a guide. Now, when it comes to your actions or what you can integrate into your life, your new habits, what is that? It has to do with the healer. You are a healer. Fear not your own ability to be a light worker or way shower for others. Drawing this card can also symbolize that a healing in its highest form is available to you now. Have you pulled this card if you have pulled this card in regard to a relationship or situation, please know that there is a powerful exchange of energy here. Meditate when you are wanting to heal on physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual plane. So meditation is like, you know how Goku charges up before he does anything? That's what the meditation does in your spiritual world. So you're Goku in the spiritual world that then use all your energy up, and now you need to replenish it. So focus on things that replenish your energy as you go with your daily activities, so you never lose what you have. As I said before in the beginning of the reading, the healer came up. Derek Branch, again, shout outs to him. That example, I will never forget it because it's starting to help me out. If I don't got it for somebody, I don't go past, I don't go under 100%. I stay at like, I stay at like 90. Once I get there, and you're too far, I can't help you. It's up to God. It's not my job, not my problem. And I do this in a lighthearted way, which gets my boundaries known. Right? 3233. Healer message. And this has to do with your transcendence, how you level up, and how you get the space to operate this new life. A letter, text, email, vision, dream, conversation, music, or some other form of a message is coming to you regarding your current situation. Be open to receiving it. Meditate on this symbol to draw a message from your ancestors and guides to you at this time. So motivation can come in the form of imagination and dreaming and daydreaming. So your daydreams are so powerful that it's able to motivate. So what happens if you're talking to somebody and they're causing you to daydream about what they're going through? You have a unique perspective to show them and share with them because you've had problems, you've been through things yourself. So your transcendence and that family, that community allows you that space because you can depend on people that you've helped. They're loyal to you because they know you got it. You know what I mean? You are powerful and you came there to help somebody. You are that prayer. So be the prayer. Send that message. And eventually, we come back full circle to da'at, right? The 0 point, the starting point, the beginning and the end, the alpha omega, right? To friendship. And this is what is in this area right here. How you achieve it. How you get to the finish line. The flag you wave. A new ally, positive support, community, and camaraderie. Meditate when you want more harmony and peace in your community. Also use to draw new alliances and friends. So, the people that you were helping out before were taking advantage of you. But the people you are blessed to help now, you will be helping them out of a place where they'll have like this loyalty in that community. Anything that you need, they'll help you with. So that's a backing that God is trying to help you to gain and to build. So the only thing you need to do is be yourself and be as truthful as possible. And that is the end of the reading. So I hope you got everything that you came here for. I hope you have a better perspective or what you're going through now, because that's what I came here for. If you're able to see it differently, then you're able to move differently. And that means the devil doesn't know you anymore. So, tread freely. So, if you enjoyed this reading, I would like you to give it a thumbs up, share it with your favorite reader, because eventually this is going to be an app. And what does that mean? On your phone, everything I explained here and talked about will be available to every reader that you know and love to do a reading like this for you. So that's the place I'm trying to get. That's where I want to be. If you like that, subscribe, share it, and I'm guaranteeing that you're going to get some more content, because God is constantly sending me new things to talk about every day. And with all that said and done, I appreciate you. I'm KyFy. Peace.